Hello. I knew Hugh Grant when he was much younger and running around Oxford in a scholar's gown. He was always bright. So I don't think we should dismiss what Hugh Grant says simply because he's a sort of well-known Hollywood actor. He's a bright, well-known Hollywood actor. And he manages to put his finger on a serious problem. The media in Britain is utterly out of control and is owned by a very, very small group of people. They can make or break political and public figures, and they can misrepresent who someone is, what someone says, and really you appear in their pages at their mercy. This means we are the less powerful, we are the more manipulated, we are the more deceived, we are the more exploited by people who have been catapulted into power by media barons who aren't even resident in our country. And they, in turn, capture and buy the political power which is on offer in the heart of Westminster. It's the interests of Rupert Murdoch and people connected with Murdoch or with other newspaper barons, the interests of people with power. And Hugh Grant's campaign is about the need to reform our press. Let's listen to what he's got to say first.
Newspapers need power, a lot of power, because they're really important to democracy. But, he said pompously, with power comes responsibility.
Yes.
And in Britain, it is a kind of uniquely UK problem. There's no responsibility, and these big newspaper owners, largely non-tax-paying newspaper owners, are living above the law and invading the privacy of people whose kids have been killed in a road accident or whatever to get the sensational article. And no one dares to take them on in Britain because they're so scared of them, especially the politicians. And that's why politicians really, in my country, are chosen by the press. Our Prime Minister is largely chosen by dint of how much he's sucked up to the newspaper barons. So that's what my campaign is about.
You see, oddly, I think my support of Hughie Grant also puts me in a position where I support Lawrence Fox. Although I don't share a lot of Lawrence Fox's political views, it puts me in a position where I'm supporting many people. And that is the issue. That's the grown-up way to look at political ideas. It means we cannot afford to be tribal because so many issues cross these tribal boundaries. There are issues in education, which mean we can't say, "Oh, I approve of this because I'm a Conservative or I'm a Labour supporter." No, actually, the Labour Party may have it wrong, the Conservative Party may have it wrong, but there is a fundamental urge to action. We can't just drop into our tribal groups in order to take what is on offer. We need to be proactive, and particularly about this sort of thing. I find it quite extraordinary. The media people don't go after their own, of course, which may explain why we heard so much about Philip Schofield, about Hugh Edwards, and we don't hear that much discussed at the moment about Dan Wootton, of course, has a background in The Sun, in the News of the World, in the Daily Mail, the linchpins of the media empire. And indeed, the GB News is controlled by somebody who's made quite a packet by betting on the collapse, or at least the wobble, of the NatWest Bank. We have a press which has a very precise agenda, or has very precise agenda. It has a very precise agendum, and that is to control power, not to seize power, but to control power. And that makes the press in Britain very, very important. And it makes privacy something that we need to fight for, because it's not automatic in the UK. It's not assured in the UK. But I think it is something that the next government must deal with. We must have a proper privacy law.